Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Serena,
host of the Dream Body Playbook
a
podcast.
show all about transforming your life
And your body to what you've always dreamed of.
On our show, you're going to find hella inspiring guests.
And you'll get weight loss tips galore from top pros in the industry.
And you're going to hear fitness secrets from the CCP team.
Plus, you'll get nutrition and training help with our Is It Worth It episodes, where we'll review the latest trends hitting the internet to let you know if it's actually worth your time.
Listen every Wednesday to the Dream Body Playbook.
What is up?
Hey.
Hello. Welcome back to the Dream Body Playbook podcast. We are so excited to be back in the studio and doing this next episode. First, you want to just kind of talk about like what's been going on in our lives before we dive into this amazing topic?
Yes, let's do it. You go first though.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What have I been doing? We've been working like crazy. We've got an amazing group of girls on our roster. And we're very blessed to have the girls that we have right now. Mm-hmm. This past weekend, I was just at a business conference in Scottsdale, Arizona. Freaking fabulous. Serena's coming with me next time. No doubt about it. We got to see some pretty sick. What's going on over here?
I don't know. I'm trying to move. I'm not comfortable.
We got to see some pretty sick speakers like Lane Norton, Vince Pitstick. Pitstick. I know. When I saw his name, I was like, what the heck? Heidi Powell was there. Oh gosh, John Riminello.
Oh.
Yeah, those are some really big names. So it was really cool. We learned a lot, and I brought a lot of information back to give to Coach Serena as well. But yeah, so that's kind of what I did the past week or so. Lots of Christmas shopping. I know when you guys hear this podcast, it's going to be
past Christmas.
It's going to be past Christmas. But lots of Christmas shopping that I've been doing lately, which is fun in a way, but also it's like SOS. We're on the countdown. What do you want? Just tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I have done zero Christmas shopping. I'm actually going today after we finish this.
Perfect. Serena's the one that goes on Christmas Eve.
I will be going Christmas Eve. Like my brothers, my dad, I'm just going to get them gift cards. So
yeah,
I'm going to wait till the last minute. Like, why get them now?
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Other than that, I've just been working and that's it. Hanging out with my grandparents.
There you go. There you go.
Pretty much.
I love that. Yeah. Now that they're here like fully now, right? Like they're in.
Yeah. And then every time I leave, my grandma's like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you." I'm like, "Grandma, I literally live with you. We don't have to miss each other anymore."
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's how my grandparents are. They live like 30 minutes north of us, and they're always like, "Can you come up here?" And I'm like, "Yes." I would love to, but it's also, it's so hard. I mean, like our jobs that we do and anyone that also is in the fitness industry and works online and stuff, schedule is crazy. And it's not a normal, like, oh, I'm just going to work during the day and then I'm good in the afternoon. Like, no, sometimes we're working like at 9 p.m. when other people are off work because a lot of our clients have 9 to 5s. Right. And when they have 9 to 5s, they can't do meetings or talk with us or anything like during their 9 to 5. So we have to work outside of that range or during lunch breaks and stuff, which we're okay with. We chose that path.
Exactly.
We chose that path. Any exciting Christmas plans or anything coming up?
I'm going back to New York.
Woohoo!
So
yay. I know your mom's happy about that.
She is, but I'm not. Only because it's going to be cold. It's going to be freezing and I don't have any winter stuff anymore. Like I threw it all away. Yeah, except for my Tim boots. Those are in my mom's storage unit, which I have to get. But other than that, it's gone.
Yeah. Just raid your mom's closet and be like, I'm gonna need all of these. Thank you.
Pretty much.
Because that's gonna be cool. I'm just
excited to see my friends, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. No, that's always fun going back to a place where everyone is and catching up, hanging out, and things like that. We're going to Charleston this weekend. Ooh. Girl, I'm about tired of traveling though. Like, I don't know if I know a lot of people have done it, but like you travel back-to-back weekends and you're like, I'm exhausted. We're taking Gus this time too.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're taking Gus because we're doing engagement Christmas pictures downtown Charleston.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and we're having Gus in some of the pictures. I'm a little nervous, I'm gonna be honest. He's a wild one and I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm bringing my parents along to kind of wrangle him while I was like, I need someone to hold on to this animal while we're taking pictures.
Oh God.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. We did have kind of a little, not a meltdown, but like a catastrophe about my dress that I was ordering. So I ordered this really beautiful dress and I'm so weird with like sizing. Like you never know what size you are anymore. Like have no clue. And a lot of people can probably relate to the story I'm about to tell. But I typically wear like a 4-6 when it comes to clothing, but my rib cage is so wide. Like I've got such a broad rib cage. Like it literally, you guys, like if you're watching the video version, you might see, but like my boobs blend with my rib cage. Like it's just like where we're at. No differentiation. No, not at all. And so I ordered a 6 in this dress, and I was like, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Like maybe. It had a zipper that went all the way up the side here, and I got home and I like. It was so close. But you know that feeling when you order something that you're so excited about and then it doesn't fit? It's like, dang it. And it's not like I've gained a bunch of weight or anything like that, but it's like sometimes whenever you order the size that you have, it doesn't work. And I feel like that's really relatable to a lot of people because, I mean, hello, sizing nowadays is like this big around. Like I'm holding my pinky up for audio listeners. It's like this big around for certain things. So I had to resize in a size 8 and like it came in, it's good, it's normal now. But like in my head, you have to get past like it's okay sizing up. So even though we're in the fitness industry and we do all those things, so it's kind of a side tangent, but like we have experienced those things as well. We experience those things often. We're humans too. So
yeah. So you kind of like had to battle with.
Oh, it was a mental. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to size up. But no matter what size, if it's a 2 going to a 4, an 8 going to a 10, a 15 going to a 16, whatever it is, the matter of jumping that one size, you're like, ooh, like it kind of like pushes you back a little bit. You have to work on your mental aspect when those things kind of dive in. Luckily, I've done the work. I've done the back work of it to be okay with that. But a lot of our, like I related to like a lot of things that a lot of our clients tell us sometimes with like the mental talk that kind of creeps in during those moments. But yeah, that was something that happened this past week that I was like, I need to share because people can relate to that a lot, especially as the sizes keep getting smaller and smaller.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like you never know what anything is anymore.
No, it's ridiculous. It's like that Victoria's Secret song about like how he was created by a man, or what is it? I heard it in the freaking airport like 100 times. It's an old man that lives in Ohio. Oh my gosh.
Like Victoria's Secret, like the lingerie pink.
Yeah, but it's talking about how like everyone listening is probably like screaming at us like the name of it is like, this is what it's called. Oh God, I'm gonna find it.
I don't know anything about that. I listen to one artist and one artist only. I'm pretty toxic with it, so it's not good. Well, that's not true. I also listen to Elevation a lot, but yeah, it's either Drake or Elevation playing, and that's it. No in between.
Dude, where's my phone at? Do you know where my phone is?
No,
I can't find it.
Oh, dude, like, you're recording on your phone.
Oh, duh. It's like something old man that lives in Ohio, like who Victoria's Secret was like created by.
What? I've never heard of this.
We will find it and we will revert back to this as soon as I find it. But I can't believe you've never heard of it. It went viral on TikTok.
Never heard of it.
It went so viral on TikTok.
Nope.
Okay, well, you want to kind of like brush over the topic that we're going to talk about today while I find this song for you so you can enjoy it with us?
Yes. So
okay. We're talking about 5 reasons you're not seeing results.
I knew it was 5 something.
Oh God.
I knew it was 5.
Serena's like, what are we talking about again? I forgot.
It's been a week. Yeah, 5 reasons why you're not seeing results. There's actually probably a lot more than 5, but we're just going to cover 5.
There's a crap more than 5. Yeah.
It's not working. Which one do you want to start with?
I'll pull this up now. I'll find the Victoria's Secret song later. If you guys, y'all know what we're talking about. Serena's the only one that doesn't know what we're talking about. Okay. Yeah. So we're talking about 5 reasons you're not seeing results. We get a lot of girls that come to us and they're like, I'm doing the work. I'm doing all of the things and I'm just not seeing results. I know that's probably really, really relatable. We've all been there at some point. I've definitely been there. I know you've probably been there, but there's little things that you don't think of. Like, yeah, you might be eating more fruits and vegetables. You might be moving your body more and stuff, but there's a lot more technical reasons that a lot of people don't think about. The first and most like popular one, I think, that we should go over like in detail is the weekends.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And like it kind of ties into the all or nothing phase.
That's true.
People being so on their A game during the weeks. Like we will have some girls and like we can see everything during like in our one-on-one programming. You can see their food logs, their movement, everything like that. And it is golden during the weeks. Like you are killing it. But if you're not tracking and doing what you're supposed to be doing on the weekends and their like calorie intake is in the 5,000s because of breweries or ice cream or whatever you may want. Yeah.
On the opposite end of things, it's at 1,000 because they were so busy because they didn't eat.
Or that. Yeah. Okay. So looking at the weekends, like when you are so on it, and this goes for more than just fitness and nutrition, I think. Like a lot of people do this with like your work-life balance, with your relationships, like things along those lines. And whenever you're drinking your water, getting your steps in, doing your workouts, tracking your food, eating your macros, doing all of the things during the week, and then on the weekends you're like, I've done fabulous this week, I deserve a weekend break. Yeah, probably. You probably do deserve a little break when it comes to like rest and recovery, which we'll talk about here soon too. But also like a break does not mean going balls to the wall with like every single thing that you do. Yeah.
From food to alcohol to lounging on the couch all day, which don't get me wrong, there's always the time and the place and the day for that, but doing it all weekend, probably not good. Unless you're sick.
Yeah, if you're sick, that's completely different. But if you, like, your body is so used to what you're doing during the week, and then as soon as you switch that huge, like, flip of the switch that's so dramatic on the weekends, it's like, what the hell are you doing? It's like, I'm really scared right now because, I mean, I say that, but like your body really does get like, like, what are you doing? And it freezes up. It's not gonna do or continue to the progress that you want it to do because it's in like fight or flight mode. And then that's when you see the water retention, the scale goes up, you maybe get sick, you feel brain fog and lethargic from maybe breweries that you went out to, and you have a gluten intolerance and you shouldn't be drinking at breweries. Like, you never know, like things like that. So throwing everything out the window
on the weekends
is just
no bueno.
But it's so popular. It's so popular. And it's so popular that like in our culture, it's a norm.
Yeah.
It's like normal. Like people just expect to go out and eat a 3-course meal and then also have ice cream on the way home and drink a whole bottle of wine. And that's just what people like relate to, like with the weekends.
I think it's also, like you said, a cultural problem. For me, I treat every day of the week the same.
Yeah.
Like there is no difference between a Saturday and a Monday for me.
Yeah.
And I think
it's a great way to look at it.
When I was struggling with that the most, I was kind of struggling with throwing everything balls to the wall on the weekend. I'm like, oh, it's the weekend. Like, who cares? Like, nothing counts. But in reality, it does count because every day counts.
Yeah.
So when I started looking at it, like every day is the same, you know, that's when things started to shift for me. And it's a really hard like perspective to kind of adapt just because everyone else is, you know, oh, it's the weekend, I can rest and relax and get things done. But if you really look at it, like if you're an adult with a 9-to-5 job and you have kids or things along those lines, you're still doing work on Saturday or Sunday. It's just not like you're getting paid to work. Yeah. Like you're doing laundry or you're cleaning or running errands that you didn't get to run during the week. You're still working.
Like your job as a mom does not switch off. Your job as a friend does not switch off.
Exactly.
Your job as a wife does not switch off. And I love the perspective you just put, because like treating every single day like it's just another day. Like your calorie consumption, it's not like there's a switch to turn it off on Friday afternoon after 5 o'clock.
Right. I wish.
Like, I know, right? That would be fabulous. But like at 5 o'clock, like Friday after 5, it still continues. Like the beer, like a happy hour that you get, you still goes into your macros. It still goes into your calories. And if you're not tracking macros or calories right now, that's totally fine. I mean, a lot of times, like for me, for example, I'll speak for myself, I've done it for so long to where I don't really have to track macros and calories anymore. But I also know that if I have certain physique goals, like if I have, like for my wedding, for example, next year, I will definitely do macro tracking and go back into a cut before my wedding.
Yeah.
But right now in the holidays and stuff, I'm just intuitively eating and like living my life and vibing through like the wedding planning and holidays and stuff. But I'm not gaining weight. I'm not losing weight. I'm being very consistent. But it's because I've done it for so long. I know what's right for my body. And people can sort of try that on the weekends, but intuitive eating and eating what's right for your body does not mean eating whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And drinking 10 or more drinks.
Yes.
At night.
I think we talked about this before, maybe. It might have just been a conversation between you and I, or like a Facebook Live or something like that. But yeah, Truly's might be only 100 calories or 90 calories or whatever they are. But when you have 10 of them,
that's 1,000.
That's 1,000 calories. And even if you have 5 of them, that's 500 calories. That's the consumption of like a meal.
Yep.
And there's no nutrients there at all. And so you've just kind of, it's like a waste of 500 calories. For me personally, I would love some yummy food for that 500 calories instead. Now, if you want to have 1 or 2 and then also a meal with it, that's called balance.
Right.
That's called balance. And I think that can be a huge takeaway for everyone listening, that if you do go balls to the wall on the weekend, I'm not asking you, or we're not telling you to go cold turkey with everything on the weekends. That's not what we're saying at all. We're saying find a way to make that kind of lifestyle more balanced. So if you're going to the breweries or you're going out to dinner with friends, think about the food and nutrition aspect first, and then tap on the drinks or the dessert or something if you really desire to have that.
I'm going to call some people out because I don't know if it's like just a trend or whatever, but a lot of times people will use the word balance as like an excuse. To do the quote unquote unhealthy things or the quote unquote bad things. Like, and even I'm guilty of this sometimes too. I'm like, oh yeah, like I can have a cookie because like I'm, balancing everything. Yep. But then I'll find myself doing that like multiple days in a row or multiple cookies in a row. And I'm like, okay, Serena, like this is not balance. You're just saying that so you feel better about what you're doing in the moment.
Yeah. I've definitely done that before, for sure. Definitely guilty of that. But also it's like, we'll continue with what you were going to say.
That was pretty much it. I mean, like just don't, like you need to be able to discipline yourself enough and call yourself out on your crap.
Right, exactly. And it's totally okay to give yourself grace, but when you're giving yourself grace every single day of the week or every single meal even, that's when it comes back to bite you in the ass. Because that's when your results is going to be like, there's no reason for us to have any results right now because you're eating either at maintenance or above maintenance in a surplus. And that's when you'll start to gain that weight that you really don't want to see.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah. And I guess that could lead us kind of into a next one that's not next on our list, but whenever you I can't see the screen.
I did move away. That's my fault.
So whenever you are then doing all of these things on the weekends, going into surplus and stuff, then you freak out. You go into like, what am I doing? Which causes you to restrict. Restricting foods and calories. Not even just, I want to talk on both restricting calories and in general, but also like certain food groups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like almost like fear food, which you don't have to have an eating disorder or have disordered eating to have a fear food. It's actually very, very normal. And we hear it on a daily basis whenever we're just having conversation with people about their diets. Like people bread is a huge one.
Oh my God.
People will say like, oh, I don't eat bread. I don't keep bread in the house. Like that is an example of a fear food.
Or pasta.
Yeah. Just a lot of like carbohydrate foods in general. So you want to kind of dive into like what restricting is going to do and hold them back from seeing results?
Yes. So let's just pretend you had a weekend bender, whatever. You did the things, you ate all the food, you drank a bunch of alcohol, and then you feel as if the next week that you're going into, you need to eat 1,200 calories a day.
Yep.
Right. Which is not enough for an adult grown woman or male.
It's enough for a toddler.
Yeah. Probably maybe a 7-year-old, but it's really pushing it.
Yeah.
And so by doing this, we're kind of restricting ourselves from the nutrients that we need because food is energy, food is fuel, right? And so then you kind of get yourself into a cycle of you're not eating enough to sustain the energy that you need through the day, and then you're sleeping, but that because sleep is also energy, but then you're missing the meal time, so you're missing out on more food, and it's just jacking your metabolism all the way up.
Yeah, and it's literally just pulling your BMR down. I'm pretty sure I have a training on metabolic adaptation. If you guys want that, just shoot me a message on Instagram and I can get that over to you guys. But it's pretty much when your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, this is pretty much the number of calories that you will burn if you just laid in bed all day. Like if you literally just laid in bed all day, that's the number of calories that you'll burn just by your body functioning. What it's doing whenever you're restricting your calories a crap ton is just pulling it down. What's up, y'all? So we don't run ads on this podcast and we probably won't ever. Our goal here is to share as much information and value with you as possible, with a little entertainment, of course. But with that, we need your help in getting the word out about the Dream Body Playbook. So all we're asking for you to do is send this episode to a friend that you think would really benefit from it, or share it on your social media stories and tag us. Also, one other thing we're going to be doing is giving away a $100 Amazon gift card to someone who rates and reviews this podcast every single month. So thank you in advance, and we're looking forward to reading your reviews, but we'll get back to the episode. So like I was saying with metabolic adaptation and basal metabolic rate, what you're doing when you're eating too little of calories is you're only fueling that BMR. So this really comes into danger when you're eating lower than your BMR. So for example, my basal metabolic rate, which I've gotten breath tests, calculations, and everything like that, they're all very similar.
Test?
Yeah. So highly recommend if you find someone, I can tell you who to go to in our area. But if you find someone in your area that does like a BMR breath test, it's really uncomfortable. You have to like plug your nose and breathe into a tube and everything, like, but it's like for maybe 5 minutes, and it measures that, someone could correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it measures like the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide leaving your body, and that's how it measures like the amount that your body is burning. There's a lot of like technology and stuff behind that.
Yeah.
But mine's around 1535 to be like exact numbers, 1535. I normally round to like around 1500. But with that being said, I don't need to be eating less than 1500 calories ever, because that is what my body needs to survive. If I eat less than 1500 calories, I'm not giving myself enough fuel to actually function throughout the day. So therefore, my body's functions are going to slow itself down to meet that number that I'm hitting. So if I'm only eating 1200 calories, my body is going to slow down digestion, like whatever other like bodily functions that cause calorie burn. It's going to slow all of that down to come meet the number that I'm fueling it, so that I'm fueling it enough to be able to work off of that rate. So therefore, I'm bringing my metabolism or my basal metabolic rate down. And so then whenever I eat 1500 calories again, I'm going into a surplus at 1500 calories because I've already dropped my metabolism so low. And so that's what people are saying when you restrict foods for so long. One, you're not seeing results because you're really just bringing your metabolism down and it's meeting you there, rather than if you would, like we do with some of our clients, reverse diet to get your calories all the way up to like 2000, 2100 calories, which is like ideal for a lot of people. That way, whenever you go into a deficit, you only have to go to like 1800 calories, 1700 calories. Right. Still plenty of food. Different for everyone, of course. Don't take those numbers and run with it for yourself. But that is why a lot of people, when you restrict the number of calories or foods and then you start eating a little bit more, you're automatically gaining weight because you've already brought in your metabolism down so much. That's why it's so important to, one, work with a coach, which we'll dive into here soon, but reverse the proper way and slow enough to where your body is adapting every time you increase those calories, so that you don't increase those calories a crazy amount and then end up just putting on a bunch of body fat that you don't want to do. No one wants to do. So.
And this also goes with like when you are restricting, let's say during the week, but then you're going all out on the weekend, it's just confusing it and messing it up even further. And I talk with my hands a lot, sorry. Really? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's why consistency is a huge part of what our program is. Consistency is big. Obviously, you're going to have days that are different than the others because no days are the same. But when you look on average at the week of what you're doing, like say you had a holiday office party, or I don't know, just an office party in general, or an event or something, and like on a Wednesday night, and you went way over on your calories because there was holiday drinks or there was snacks and hors d'oeuvres and stuff. Okay, cool. That's no biggie if you're doing it every once in a while, right? And then the next day, your body might not need as much nutrients because the extra amount of nutrients that it had that night. And so your hunger levels might not be all there. You might still be feeling kind of full. And that's your body's way of telling you like, hey, I still got pretty good amount of energy. And so therefore, you're probably not going to eat as much as you did the day before. You might be a little under your calorie take. But if you look at those 2 calorie days or overall macro days on an average base, you're going to be close to that target number that you want to be at. So that's why it's so hard to look at things by like day by day or meal by meal.
Yeah.
You've got to zoom out a little bit and look at the whole week into a perspective of like, okay, because we'll get girls that message us and they're like, oh my gosh, I had such a bad day yesterday. It's like, okay, pause. Let's zoom out. Let's look at this entire week, this one day, including with all the other days that you have. If you do the math on all this, you're hitting your target on average.
Right.
And so that's what I always like, kind of going off on this little side tangent here, but I always I'm huge on zooming out. Let's zoom out and look at the big picture of it. And because like, was that really a bad day? Is this really a problem for what we need to work on? And most of the time, no.
Yeah. It's just overthinking and all or nothing mindset.
Yep. And it's so hard to come out of that because that's what diet culture has taught us.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So yeah, let's, so on the topic of restricting foods and calories, let's kind of dive into the next 2 that we have that kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But the first one, I know we've got a lot of cardio queens out there. I used to be a cardio queen.
Same.
But number 3 that we have is just not lifting enough, not lifting
at all.
Yeah. Not lifting at all, not lifting enough weights, not doing it frequently. Yeah. I feel like this is something that you can touch on a lot of.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So personally, I have always heard this, like, oh, you need to be lifting heavy, And I'm like, okay, so I need to start like working out, actually lifting more weight. So for the longest time, like probably between 2020 and this time last year, so over a good amount, like over a year, almost 2 years, I was lifting, and I was lifting heavy, quote unquote, to what I thought was heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like a bigger girl, not saying like unhealthy, but like just bigger statured. So
we're both tall.
Yeah.
And
tall.
even Hannah, like my assistant that's on our team, she's tall too. Really? When I met her this past weekend, I was like, we're all so tall.
Yay, I love that. Oh my God. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so taller girls, and technically speaking, we should be able to lift like a crap ton of weight. Mm-hmm. And I was like pushing myself, but I wasn't pushing myself to the point of like failure or uncomfortableness. And so some kind of switch like clicked in me last like January, and I just started going like way harder, way heavier. Didn't care if it hurt. Not like injury hurt, but like uncomfortable pain, like, oh my God, my muscles want to fall off hurts. Yeah. And once I started doing that this year is when I started to see like the results and the progress that I actually been wanting to see for the longest time. Mm-hmm. So, yep. Yeah. If you think like, if you're doing comfortably, let's just pretend 20-pound dumbbells for, I don't know, lunges. Mm-hmm. And you can do all 12 reps or all 10 reps or 15
without even
reps
breaking a sweat.
Without being out of breath or breaking a sweat or nothing, like you can probably go 20 pounds heavier.
Let's increase that weight like crazy. Yeah. And that's something too that, Nick, if you're listening to this, I might call you out a little bit here. But that's something too that I'll do a lot when we're at the gym. Not as much recently, but usually when we're in the gym, I'm one that will go to failure. Like I like to drop set even because because I want to go to failure with something so heavy. And then if I literally cannot finish that set with that weight, that's when I'll drop. But Nick, on the other hand, he is one of those that's like, oh yeah, I've been doing this weight for like 6 months now. I can just like rep it out. And I'm like, you could totally go up on that.
Oh, he's got to go up.
I'm like, you could totally go up on that. Sorry, honey. But that's something that I will do a lot. Like I hear myself saying a lot, but also that's a good thing, you guys, because I'll get down on myself sometimes when I'm like, I couldn't finish that set. And I'm like, and I'm like, I had to drop weight to finish that set. Now, granted, recently it's probably because I'm having to decrease weight some because I haven't been training as hard. But usually when you're increasing your weights and you have to like, you're actually going to failure. And y'all, going to failure does not mean like, oh, I'm out of breath, I just need to stop. Like that means like you physically cannot push that weight any farther. Yeah. Like you are done. Your
muscles are
it's
shot.
Not going to work. Yeah. And
safely.
Yeah, safely. Don't hurt yourself, please. But that's something that I think is like not talked about enough is like going to failure. Because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, well, I'm progressive overloading. Like, cool, that's great too. But like when you're progressive overloading, are you really like that last set? Are you really pushing? Like, are you at your wit's end point where your muscles are like, SOS, please just stop. I'm going to cry now. And I mean, we're not like torture chamber people. Like we're not like torturing you, but it's a good way to measure your own progress and being like, okay, like I'm going to failure on this. That's the indication of let's either adjust or we're in a good spot. And then, so say you're, like you said, the 20-pound dumbbell lunges. Say you're doing those and you're going to failure on them. Like you're trying to hit sets of 12, but you're only getting 8. And like you're actually going to failure. Okay, good. Keep working to that weight until you can go the full sets of 12 and then up your weight to 30. And then once you go to failure with that one, cool. Work until you can go the full sets of 12, up it to 40. Then same thing. That's how you make progress and increase your weight over the time.
Mm-hmm. And I think too, the biggest thing to wrap your head around when you're doing that is being okay with failure.
Oh yeah.
Like, because
a lot of people think it's embarrassing.
Yeah. And I'm like,
when I see someone failing in the gym, I'm like, hell yeah, you're killing that set. Yeah.
Unless it's bench and you don't have a spotter, but
yeah, don't do that. Then you see all those embarrassing TikTok videos of like people getting stuck. Like,
oh my God. Yeah.
And side note here again, on side note tangents. Don't be afraid to ask someone in the gym to like spot you if you don't know them. Like everyone's there to better themselves. Most likely someone's going to be really pumped if you ask them to do that. Mm-hmm. If someone asked me to spot them to do that, I'd be like, dang, they think I'm good enough to like spot them. Exactly. Like awesome. Yeah.
One time this girl, when I used to work at the gym, she was a like very short, muscular girl, and she was about to squat 275, and she came all the way up to the front desk to ask me to spot her, and I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great. And just, I know it can be nerve-wracking to just talk to people that you don't know in the gym. Trust me, I am very much someone who stays in a shell until I have a couple of drinks in my system. Then I'm like, okay, I'll talk to everyone. But I'm very much someone who wouldn't step outside of my box to do that. But I've done it a couple of times, and it's just like, it makes your lift feel so much more successful. You're like, I actually finished that instead of just crossing off my list and not doing it for the day. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, just like for me too, another personal story. I was trying to bench 135 the other week because I'm getting close. Yeah. I did 115 for 3 by myself. So
there you go.
I know I'm like very close. And I had this guy come spot me and I failed twice. Well, 3 times actually. Then he made me do negatives. And I was like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was like, it's okay, you failed, because how are you ever gonna like feel what it's gonna feel like if you don't fail at it? And I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, he is right. He's exactly right. Yeah. So not lifting enough is our reason number 3. And that goes forward. We're going to touch a little bit here too on like consistency of lifting with like, if you're going to the gym once a week,
right,
how do you ever expect to progress in your weight and things like that? You've got to go a consistent amount of times, but whether that be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever works for you, make it consistent.
Yep.
Get in the gym every single week on those days. And then also make sure to like obviously incorporate like a good split and stuff, which we can do a whole nother podcast about splits and how to create that, because that's kind of difficult. If you've never done it before, it's kind of difficult. So, but transitioning into our number 4 is rest and recovery.
I'm like, I can't read that. I'm blind. I'm very blind, actually.
We'll make it bigger.
I need contacts.
Oh, God. So rest and recovery and like overtraining and stuff. So this is another big reason that people don't see results. God, calling Nick out again.
Nick.
Hey. I'm sorry, honey. He does not take rest days, like ever. It's awful. Like I will beg him sometimes to just be like, just go sit in the sauna with me. Like you don't have to do it.
Right.
I think it's just a matter of like being in the gym atmosphere for him. But taking rest days will change the game of your training.
Oh my God.
And I know that sounds very counterintuitive, but it's so true.
When I went from 5 days to 4 days, chef's kiss.
Yeah. And you guys, like this is not necessarily the same as like rest and recovery when it comes to like a split and stuff, but if you've seen my gut health journey, like we were talking about this earlier, like I took 4 months off of the gym. Like literally the only movement that I was doing was outdoor walks.
Wow.
And I saw insane progress. Like my physique completely changed, mainly because I was focusing on like the amount of stress my body had and my gut health and things along those lines. There's a lot more detail that went into it. But when you give your body a break, like it's going to say thank you. It's going to be like, thank you so much. Because stress on your body is a good thing to a certain point. But if you're not giving it time to recover over and over after every session,
it's going to break down.
It's going to break down. Exactly. And that's why too, I'm not a huge fan of HIIT training.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah.
I used to love it. I hate it.
I cannot stand it. I used to go to, F45 is not quite HIIT. Like whenever you guys know I trained at F45, love F45 still to this day. I wish I had one in my town where I live because it's too far of a drive for me right now. But then I started going to Burn Boot Camp and I told myself, I was like, I'm not going to do like the cardio sessions or anything like that. I was like, that's just not my vibe. I'm not doing it. I did a couple of them at the very beginning just to like see what it was like. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have a story like that.
Oh gosh.
When I first moved back to Charlotte, this gym offered me like a free like workout session or whatever if I posted on my Instagram. So I was like, okay. So I go. It was basically like a HIIT style, like almost like Orange Theory type of class, which did you know that Orange Theory is going out of business?
No.
I literally just found out like yesterday.
What?
All their things are closing down.
Well, a lot of group training stuff is kind of starting to hit the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were doing it and I was like, oh my fucking God. The whole time I was just like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I'm never coming back.
Yeah. And that's how I've kind of felt. Like I have not been to Burn in a couple.
They just want you to go nonstop.
And if any of you guys do Burn and you're listening, I'm not hating on you guys.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not hating on you guys, but it might not be all Burns. It might not be. It's probably a lot of things. This is just my experience. It's even on the weight days, like the trainers got to the point where like they knew not to just like come up and like correct me because I wasn't gonna do it because they're like faster, harder. Yeah. And I'm like, you're gonna pull a muscle, like you're gonna hurt yourself. The form here is shit because everyone's just slinging weight around. Yeah. And I'm like, what is this? Like no one's actually getting the proper execution out of these movements because no one's firing or triggering the right muscle movements because they're just everywhere.
Get as much done in the 45 seconds.
They just want it to be fast. Go. Get your heart rate up. And then you look around and you wonder why everyone in there looks like they're so inflamed. Like everyone, and then everyone's complaining about gut health, hormonal issues, Hashimoto, like all of these things. And I'm like, you're not training for what your body needs. That's why. Like you're most likely not fueling it right either, but I'm not seeing that aspect of things. But it's so like, take a deep look at what you're really doing to your body. Because if you are doing that every single day, like I know Burn doesn't do any classes on Sundays because they do implement one rest day, but like 6 days a week,
rest day, jeez,
back to back, 6 days a week, back to back of high intensity HIIT training. I'm like, no one's body is going to benefit from that. Absolutely not. I'm kind of like dragging Burn right now, so I'm so sorry. But like,
I'm gonna say something maybe controversial, but it's fine. I feel like a lot of the people that go to those places have that like quote unquote skinny fat look.
Oh, there's no
like, I don't want to sound mean, but like,
well, it's and they know that too, because I've talked to a bunch of people and they're frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm going in here. I'm crushing every single workout. Yeah. But you're also not focusing on what's really going on. You're causing your body so much stress and your body is so inflamed. Your digestion's all out of whack because you're not allowing it to recover properly. Your hormones don't even get me started on that, because you're going into these HIIT training workouts completely fasted because you think that's what you should be doing. Hello, females, do not work out fasted. It's going to throw your hormones through a roller coaster. As you can see, I'm very passionate about this topic. But this is your training. If you're doing HIIT style, high intensity workouts back to back with no rest days, you are your own problem for not getting results. Like that is your probably top issue. You probably have other stuff going on as well, but that is your top issue as to why you're not seeing results. And if you maybe back off of that for a little while and maybe stop doing all the HIIT training, I don't know, 4 weeks, you're going to see inflammation in your body drop so much. So much.
And I think the love of HIIT is like such a mental thing. Yeah. Because I used to be like this when I was doing HIIT all the time. I was doing it like twice a week. But I think I just liked the sensation I was getting from it because I never really sweat.
And the sweat, yeah.
But I was sweating and I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm actually doing something. When in reality, okay, I was a little bit, but I was still very inflamed, like you said. I'm just messing up my hormones. And the real stuff that's going to get you real results is going to be boring.
It's going to be boring.
It's going to be boring.
Put on a good podcast, hello, and get it done. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just going to be consistency over time with that stuff.
Yep. It's going to be boring. Yeah, and I relate to that a lot with the sweat.
Yeah.
I used to have a big misconception in my head that like I didn't get a good workout in unless I was like drenched in sweat. Honey, if you're still thinking that, just go get in a sauna, and it benefits your central nervous system way more. And you're good. You're good.
I love the sauna.
Oh my God, I love a good sauna. Love it, love it, love it. Except sometimes we get in and we'll like turn the sauna on before our lift. And so it's like heated up by the time we're done and get in there. But it's at like 165 and I'm like, I'm dying. Leave the door open for like 5 minutes.
I love that. I used to go in like LA Fitness. They have like 185. I loved it.
So hot. I can't like breathe. Okay, before we dive into the next one, I'm going to do one more video session. Do you find it hard to stay consistent with your health and fitness routine because cooking every single meal is just way too much work? Well, what if I told you that you could eat out at your favorite restaurants and still reach your goals? And we're going to help you do that by giving you access to our free macro-friendly restaurant guide that covers over 22 different restaurants across the nation. All you have to do to get your hands on this guide is DM us the word restaurant on Instagram and we'll send it over to you. Okay, we are back.
We're live.
All right, y'all. So number 5, going into the last but not least, and you guys, there's so many more reasons.
So many
more reasons. This one, of course, we had to tie it in, but not hiring a coach to help you out or figure out what's going on. Like we've mentioned, you good over there?
I cannot get comfortable today. It's not happening for me.
So like we've mentioned, there's so much underlying things that could be going on.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're doing all the things that we just talked about and you're still not seeing results. We can talk gut health. We can talk hormones. We can talk more nitty gritty about like your specific macronutrients. We haven't talked, well, we did talk about like restricting foods and stuff, but like we can't really dive into details about macros and stuff because it's different for everyone.
Right.
Like if we started pumping out numbers here, I mean, like I did for the BMR, like, and I told you guys, don't take that and run with it. That's mine, not yours. And people would take it and run with it if we gave random numbers.
They probably would, yeah.
Don't do that.
Just because 1,200 is a random number on, what's it called, Beachbody or Optavia.
Yeah.
Where'd they get that number from?
You know, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I really don't know where the 1200 started.
I don't either.
Yeah. But hiring a coach not only because we're not saying that just because we're coaches. Like,
right.
Talk to us, message us. We would love that. But like, also, if we don't think it's a good fit for us, like, we're more than happy to share who you should go work with. Or if you guys have someone else in mind, go for it. But my biggest thing about hiring a coach is that we're going to help you do it the right way the first time.
Yep.
Because I'm sure a lot of you guys, well, maybe not the first time, but this time, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have tried things in the past. Like you just said, Optavia, keto, Beachbody, paleo, Whole30, all of the things, which, I mean, I'm guilty of doing those things a while back as well.
Yep.
Except for keto. I will never claim that one. I've never done that one.
Thank God.
Yeah. But we understand you've tried all of these things. The good thing about working one-on-one with someone is that, and I've told, like, if you're one of our girls now, you've heard me say this. If it's not working for you, the luxury of having a one-on-one is that we will pivot until it works for you.
Yeah.
Because that's our job to make sure we're getting you the results that you want to see.
We're literally doing that with one of our clients right now.
Right, literally, exactly. And I literally like messaged her on Voxer before this call saying those exact words. I was like, remember what I told you. And I think that's so important because remember, we're on your team. Like, we are on your side. We want you to get to those results as much as you do. And I think that's something that everyone needs in their life, whether a coach is for health and fitness. For me, I have a business coach, a life coach, a career-driven coach. Like, literally anything. Therapy is considered a coach style thing. Yeah. Like, it's never a bad idea to hire a mentor to help you with something.
It's just going to save you time.
So much time.
Like, because we've tried everything.
Yeah.
We've made all the mistakes.
And if I haven't tried it, a client has, and we've been through it with them.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like we are basically giving you the blueprint, the roadmap of how to do things right. You said, if not the first time, then this time.
Yep. Exactly. So hiring a coach is our 5th one that we have on our list. And like I said, that's for all aspects of life. That's the best advice I can give you right now, is to just reach out and ask for help. Yeah. And I feel like asking for help is deemed as such a weakness or being weak for some reason.
Oh no, it's the most powerful thing you could do.
It's the most powerful thing you could do for a fact. And I know it can be kind of nerve-wracking to start something new. And this is something too, I talk with a lot of people. Everyone's normally scared when starting something new. Yeah. And I just made a post about this. Obviously, you guys listening to it now is probably a couple months ago, but I made a post about, I was scared shitless to start my own business and hire a mentor and stuff like that. And yeah, because it's something new. Like, I was scared going into college too on my first day. Like, you're nervous about that. You're nervous starting a new job. You're nervous starting a new relationship. Anytime something's new, you're gonna have those nerves. You're gonna be scared and say, what if this doesn't work for me? That's in anything in life. So if this is something that you're so passionate about and it's holding you back from going to the beach with friends or stepping up for that position in the job and putting yourself out there for a promotion or being intimate with your partner, like anything along those lines, if it's holding you back, it's causing enough stress in your life to where you owe it to yourself to take that leap, to ask someone to help you, because you shouldn't have to go through life feeling stressed out about it like that.
Yeah. Or just feeling down about yourself.
Yeah.
Your life, your goals, feeling as if you're never gonna be able to reach them. Yeah. Because I feel like that's 99% of the times how people feel before they get the courage enough to ask for a coach.
1000%. Yeah. And oh crap, I had something in my head that just like left it.
Just ditch the room.
What the heck? Just bye. But yeah, so hiring a coach is, I mean, I would tell anyone in my life.
Oh,
like,
1000%.
I've told you guys, like, I hired my own dietitian and personal trainer and stuff in the past. I mean, and I'm a dietitian and personal trainer. But like, just because I do it for other people doesn't mean that I still need the guidance for certain things. And also, like, us being coaches, we put so much of our eggs in our basket for our clients that we sometimes neglect ourselves. And so therefore we need someone else to hold us accountable, to be like, hello, you're still here too. You're important too. And that might be you as a mom who doesn't give any time or effort to their own personal life or their own personal health because you've got little ones at home that you're taking care of. Yes, your first priority and your first job is being a mom, but also, how are you going to be a mom if you
have no energy to be a mom?
If you have no energy to be a mom, or health, if you're in the hospital due to chronic health, like, God forbid, but like, how are you going to be there. Or same thing goes for really anything, like friendship, wife, like anything like that. Like, how are you going to be present to who you need to be if you aren't taking care of yourself?
That's true.
Like, that's just something that it's a hard pill to swallow, but really, like, how are you going to show up to work in your full, like, what you need to be, and you're fully yourself, and like motivated and encouraged and gonna show up and do what you need to do if you have no energy to get up out of bed in the morning and brush your teeth? Like this kind of ties into something else that we can talk about on another episode, because we're getting kind of lengthy on this one. But like, all of this stuff that we talked about, the progress and physique changes, mental health work and stuff, that ties straight into anxiety and depression, y'all.
1,000%. Straight
into it. And if you cannot get your anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, mental illness is not on the forefront of skin. You can't look at someone and know exactly what they're going through. And so many people in this world go through it. I mean, hell, I've gone through it.
I think everybody does.
Exactly. To an extent, exactly. And so putting yourself first to overcome those own internal battles is only going to put you ahead in life even more.
And it's not selfish.
It's not selfish.
Don't think it's selfish.
It's not selfish at all. Because think about it, you are the only person in your life who spends every single second with yourself for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Like, you are the only person who is consistently in your life every single day, every second of the day.
Treat yourself like your friend.
Yeah.
Or like your partner or anything like that. Like, if you wouldn't want your partner to not eat all day, why would you do the same thing?
Yep, exactly.
And, you know, basically everything else along those lines. Like, if you wouldn't want your partner doing it, your friend doing it, or your mom doing it, then don't let yourself do it either.
Exactly. Treat yourself as your own best friend.
Exactly, because we are.
Yeah, exactly. You should be. If you're not, that's something that you need to work on as well, is because you should be your own best friend. You should love yourself more than anyone on this freaking planet.
Exactly.
And that's not narcissistic, and that's not selfish. That's just genuinely being like happy with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Love it.
Wow. Like we said, that was only 5 reasons.
There's a lot. There's probably like 3,000.
Yeah, no, there's so many more. But we're going to wrap this episode up. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions about anything that we talked about, just shoot us a message on Instagram, or if you're in the Facebook group on Facebook. Yeah. Anything else you want to throw in?
Yeah, remember that your whatever dumbbells that you want to lift up next time, go 5 pounds heavier.
That's a great way to end it. All right, y'all. Talk to you next week.
Bye.